All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Bankroll Challenge. I just got a haircut. Hopefully, I'm looking fresh. How's that fade looking? Is it looking good? Um, so let's see. There's a few things to talk about. As always, there's going to be timestamps in the description below if you just want to skip around to see the hands I played. If you want to watch the hand analysis, if you want to see some live play, that'll be at the end. But as for now, let's start with bankroll status. So I just got done with the workout, so I'm a little bit out of breath. So basically, let's see. We have been grinding the 50 NL Zoom tables on ACR. Things have been going well, but we've actually been running kind of bad. But we're still making money, so that is good. The bankroll is at an all-time high of 25.09. And we've got well over $300 in rakeback available. And we're also projected to make an extra $250 this week from the Beast leaderboard. If you're familiar with that, it's like a rakeback promotion thing on ACR. It's really cool. You should look into it. If you want to sign up for ACR, you can sign up below through my link. That would help out the channel. Man, okay, I'm going to pause the video for a second and catch my breath. Holy crap. All right. So what we're going to be doing now is taking a look at, well, first of all, I just wanted to show you guys this like sick graph from yesterday. So I'm going to pull this up. Dude, you're not even, we ran like 4 buy-ins under EV. So nasty, man. Let's see if we can pull this up while keeping this open because I want to make sure it looks good. Graphs. Okay, that should be fine. So, dude, look at this. Yesterday we were projected to make like 350 and we made like 150. So what is that? That's a difference of $200, which is 4 buy-ins. So gross. And we've also look, I don't know what the deal is with the poker community and the red line. I think it's like an indication of how well or how much you get people to fold out like their equity. So if you're really good at like bluffing, I think your red line is going to be really high. I think that's how it works. I honestly don't know. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments. That would be awesome. But you know, regardless, we ran really bad in some really sick spots. But you know, if we make $150 on the day, we're still pretty happy about that. I'll show you guys how this month is going. Not incredibly well. I don't know how. This just doesn't seem right. Yeah, this doesn't seem right at all. Oh, I see. That's right. So we've made $700 this month. Not the greatest month. We've had some pretty bad downswings. Yeah, it didn't take too long to get to 700. Then we just like dipped down really bad. It ran really bad in some massive pots, but we still have like an okay win rate. And you know, $700 is $700. You know, we'll take it. It's still a pretty cool job. So I did want to show those. You know, just kind of show where we're at. I've also made a little bit of extra money. Maybe like let's pull this up. I've also made a little bit of extra money from the Beast leaderboard, which is something I always talk about on this channel. It's been very helpful for earning some extra money for me. I've probably made an extra $500 off of that. You know, maybe my bankroll might only be at like 2,000 or something without it. So, yeah, the Beast has been extremely helpful for me. But that is the end of this little segment. So let's see. Now I'm going to be talking about 4 hands that I had yesterday. So this is like the title of the video. The theme is going to be overbetting for value. So basically, actually, I should have pulled this hand up, but basically, I played this one guy, and it absolutely blew my freaking mind because I thought this guy was like a whale because all he does is bet pot. So, you know, long story short, he flopped a flush on a Broadway, Queen Jack 10, and I had Ace King, and he just bet pot into me 3 times, and I called him down for this like 200 big blind pot, and I was just like, what just happened? Because I was trying to put him on a hand as like ace jack, or no, like queen 10, a set, jack 10, queen jack, and I was just like trying to put him on these hands. Maybe he has 8 9, but he just had a flush, and he just like destroyed my soul. He took all of my money, just bet like donk bet pot, and he just like he stacked me, and it just made me realize that there's so much value that you can get out of hands that just goes untapped. It goes like I leave it on the table. Maybe you guys are better at getting value than I am, but that made me realize that I need to like mix up my gameplay a lot more and incorporate big bets to get better value. And so from that, like I said, it completely blew my mind. And so from that moment on, I was like, I need to start betting big when I have big hands and make it look like a bluff and just confuse people, especially when they have like the top of their range. And so I've been doing that. So here are four hands where I begin to implement this correctly, and it works out really well. And it's gonna continue to like increase my win rate, and you guys can use this too. So let's look at this, and we'll pull up these hands. Let me check this. Okay, should be fine. So we have, I don't even remember this hand, so let me just take a look here. You know what, this wasn't really an overbetting hand, so we're just going to look at the other three hands. This is just like getting good value, and this is like was a good understanding of ranges. But, I mean, we'll just look at it. Who cares? So, do we flat or... Okay, so we just flat with 10s. Is this Mr. Cunningham's? Okay, so these are his stats. I wonder how many hands we have on him. So we have a lot of hands on him. So he looks like pretty nitty when it comes to opening. And it seems like he c-bets a lot. For whatever reason, I decided to just flat with 10s. If you're playing a more aggressive lineup, you can probably just be 3-betting 10s on the button. But if you're playing someone like fairly nitty, he's got a 1% 3-bet. So, you're playing someone really nitty. I think you get better value by trying to flop something exactly. Obviously, this is a dream flop for his exact hand, but I just don't know how much value there is in 3-betting a nit with 10s. I think it's better to just like play in position, try to flop a set on a cooler board, or yeah. So anyway, that's what I did. That's just hindsight, but we'll take a look at the hand. So we flat with 10s. We don't think it's good to 3-bet a nit with 10s on the button. You can just take a flop in position, especially when these guys don't seem like ultra 3-bet heavy. You can just take a flop in position. And that's just my philosophy. So I'm just gonna double check the camera. Camera looks good. So flop, obviously, pretty darn good. We're only losing to 1, 2, 3, 3 combos of hands. So pocket aces, pocket jacks, king 10 or king queen. So at this point, we're not even positive we have the best. We probably have the best hand. But a lot of his range is like ace queen, ace king, ace jack, ace 10, obviously. But there's still sets in there. But as this hand progresses, I'm trying to decide, do I have the best hand or not. Obviously, never folding the flop. Also, this guy was short stacked. I'm seeing that right now. So it's just another reason not to 3-bet. You don't have a reason to 3-bet someone. You don't want to get it in with 10s for 75 big blinds. So anyway, we flop a set. Let's see, a turn after we call. So like I said, at this point we're trying to, it's very likely we have the best hand, but we're not positive. So at this point, when someone bets half pot, to me, I don't know. It feels exactly like 2-pair. I think sets and straights, I think, king queen might bet this amount. But I also think something like ace king, ace queen, ace jack also bet, this amount. That's just based on my experience. Um, I'm trying to think if I have a better reason than that. Um, I guess I don't. Our range is at like fairly weak. You know, we flat on the button, we flat the flop and turn now. So we either, you know, sometimes we have king queen, but to our opponent, it probably looks like we have jack queen, king jack, um, ace queen or something. And then the river, he bets half pot again. So in my mind, you know, we could definitely be beat here, but in my mind, I thought it was just so since our range is so weak, he can value bet fairly wide because we pretty much only represent like king queen at this point or something like king jack that's just like calling these kind of cheap bets trying to get the straight or something. Since our range is so weak, I think we are safe to re-raise against his, most of his value range. And I also just think that sets are betting bigger here. I don't think, I think when someone has three aces here, on the flop, on the turn and the river, I think they're betting bigger. Um, just because they have so much confidence in their hand. That's usually just how fish play. Um, that was just my read of the situation. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a thin value raise, but at this point, I decide we're only losing to a few hands, and I just think that people bet bigger when they've got the nuts. So I'm willing to bet that he has something like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, and I just think he has significantly more combos of that than he does of the nuts. Now, like I said, I'm aware that we could be raising into the nuts, but I think this is definitely a winning play. And I think he will definitely call with like ace king for like a very small raise relative to the it's $20. Well, it's only $15 into a pot of 60, so he's getting really good odds. Not that I'm ever bluffing here, but some people spaz out and bluff here, and I think he just is going to have a really hard time folding something like ace king to this little raise on the river. So, like I said, once again, I'll say it. Sometimes we're losing here, but I think the majority of time we're facing hands exactly like ace jack, ace king, ace queen that just barreled three streets, and we scoop up a nice pot here. So now we're going to be looking at hand number 2. So this one I was pretty darn proud of. We're going to be taking a look at it. So this is a little bit loose. King jack offsuit under the gun. It's a little bit loose, but oh wait, I'm just gonna make this full screen. To be frank, I feel like I'm significantly better than all the fish at 50 NL, and I think I can profitably open king jack offsuit under the gun, and it's still not that bad. I think most people would agree with that. So we see a flop of 6-5-3. So when people flat from the small blind, they're usually not, they're usually fairly strong. I've talked about this in other videos, but I think a lot of people's flatting range is like 5s through 10s, sometimes even jacks. Things like ace queen suited, jack queen suited, ace queen. So like pretty strong hands. It's not like they're defending the big blind. They're defending the small blind, so they're usually pretty strong. So this hits his range fairly strong. He's got 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. All of those are in his range. And it's just hard for us to represent this board. So basically, I'd rather keep the pot small and try to turn top pair or river top pair if I can, and try to win that way instead of trying to get him off of a strong range. So we check back the flop, which I never see a point in c-betting in this exact situation. And we have an absolutely beautiful turn. And the reason this is beautiful is because we can easily have something like ace X of clubs, ace 10 of clubs, ace queen of clubs, ace king of clubs. And it's not too off. A jack is just one, the least scary paint card in his eyes. Well, just in general, right? Ace kings and queens are like the most scary. And so for that reason, he bets out, and he bets out fairly large. But again, so this is another situation. We could be beat here. We could be running into a set, but we're not sure yet, and we still have a very strong top pair. He could have, easily have something like Pocket fours, 6-7 suited. Unlikely. I think he has a lot of pocket pairs in his range, but sevens, eights, nines, tens, and we're smashing all of those, and we have top pair. And if we want, we can sometimes represent this flush draw. So at the end of the day, we still have top pair, and it's not too expensive, so we're going to call. And then we see a really nice river. If we saw something like a 7 and 8, we wouldn't like that, of course. But this, in the event we were beat by 5-6, we're now winning. Nothing gets there. He doesn't have threes in his range very often, like hardly ever. And then he checks to us. So to me, that says he's just trying to get to showdown. Obviously, he's not just trying to value bet us with something. And like I said, we just don't have jacks that often, but we do have ace-x of clubs, plenty. So for that reason, I think we can represent a bluff pretty strong. We've got a lot of flush draws in our range. King, queen of clubs. We do have the king of clubs, so it's just not that unlikely. And I believe that he's got, when I make these videos, it's because I have soul reads on people. So when he plays his hand exactly like this, I think he has exactly pocket nines. Well, what do you think he has? He has pocket nines. So I thought pocket nines could call an overbet. So what did I do? I bet 150% pot, and we got a ton of value from pocket nines because we're trying to represent like a missed flush draw or ace king or something. So this was I was very proud of this hand. That's why I'm showing you guys. And also what I was saying about, like, you have to bet big when you've got like these value spots. That's what I did, and I'm telling you, these donkeys at 50 NL don't know how to handle it. So we got, I think most people here are getting, $2 of value, something like that, out of their jack. Some people might check it back, but I got almost $10 extra of value from this hand, and I'm very happy with how we played it. I'm just gonna check the video, make sure everything's running. All right, mic is picking up. Cool. Let's look at another hand. So here, oh man, we destroyed Rufus Nightjar. If you are watching this, I am sorry that I have to put you on blast here, but we're gonna look at this one. So we have a very standard blind raise of King Jack here. We make it, I think that's 2.5, which you can make it 3x, you can make it 2.5, you can limp. My strategy right now is make it 2.5, generally speaking. So that's a pretty good flop for King Jack offsuit. Just Broadway, rainbow, absolutely beautiful. And so once again, I'm talking about when we got completely owned with flopping Broadway versus a flush. It sparked something in me, so I started to do it. I lead over pot with the nuts, and the reason I do this is because I think Rufus has a ton of hands that they can call with. Queen 10, ace 10, ace queen not likely, but ace x, tons of ace x in their range. People all very often defend ace x in their range, and yeah, for these reasons, I think you can get calls a lot. And I think it's also reasonable that people will try to bully people out of the blind pots, which is what we're trying to represent. We're trying to represent like we're this big stack just trying to bully someone around. And what do you know? We get called, and it's just dream come true. So now a flush draw comes on the board, and we're gonna bet over pot again. We're gonna bet about $10 into 850. And when the flush draw comes on the turn, it's just perfect because it can make it look like we have like King 10 of diamonds or something, King Queen of diamonds. It just makes us look so bluffy. And if they called one street, it's not surprising they're going to call another one, especially if they have an ace. And then the queen I was actually really actually really happy about because they could easily have something like queen jack, king queen. Like they have ace x in their range, but they also have queen x in their range, who's just like, this guy's full of it, I'm just gonna call this guy down. And it's also just like a good card to bluff at. It's like a ooh scary card kind of thing. And we right now we're looking like we're just this big stack trying to bully this guy in the blinds. So what do? We jam. We put him all in. So 35 to into 28 here. We're making him go all in just to call us down. And we've had the nuts the whole time. And he calls us off. Who is getting this kind of value in the blinds? This is over I think it's over 200. Yeah, over 200 big blinds. And we just got the nuts, man. And he called us with ace 7. I guess another thing worth noting is that the queen is also good because he's now chopping with other aces. If we were trying to bully him off, like he could justify another call. So, you know, it was just a lovely hand, flopping the nuts versus top pair and getting insane value. And what can I say? It's like when, you know, if you grind a stake long enough, you're going to start to find these weird spots that no one takes. You know, if you try to think about things in a unique way. And like I said, I've said it like 3 times now, but when that guy owned me, it made me realize I need to really think about how I'm getting value because, you know, obviously I consider myself a decent poker player, but if I got owned that bad, that means there's like way more I need to be thinking about. And sure enough, I never win this kind of big giant pot with this hand in this situation if I never got owned by that guy. So shout out to that guy. His name is KTM Duke. So in the off chance that you're watching this, man, you're a beast. I actually really respect his game, even though he looks like a fish. I think he's awesome. So I think we have one more hand. Looks like we do. Okay, so Matt is really nitty, I think. Yeah, so Matt is really nitty. 3-bet is 6, so he like never 3-bets, especially someone in the low jack. I would imagine he's flatting hands like ace queen, ace 10, ace jack. Under 10% pre-flop raise and under 20 VP, so he's like pretty darn nitty and stationy. So we raise pocket 8s in the low jack, which is I think that's just standard raise. We get called by Matt, and yeah, I'm trying to think of what kind of range I put him on if someone's calling me from the hijack. I think like queen jack, you know, king queen suited, these kinds of hands, pocket 7s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s. So just these like kind of middling hands like ace jack, maybe, yeah, ace queen. Both of those can be suited. So that's kind of the range I put him on when he flats from the hijack. So basically, I'm just betting here, representing the ace, just trying to induce a fold. I'm not value betting here, but I don't want, you know, there's just so many bad turns, and it's fairly likely that we have the best hand, so I'm just going to c-bet and hope he folds. That's pretty much just all I'm thinking at this point. You know, again, it's someone nitty, which means like if he just has like 6s, 4s, he might be calling those. But, you know, again, getting rid of things like queen jack of diamonds, queen jack offsuit, king queen of diamonds, king queen offsuit, those kinds of hands. So we're just getting rid of those hands by representing the ace. When we get called, we know we're not thrilled. We're pretty much always behind here, I would say, unless we're up against a flush draw. But even then, it's like very few good turns. But of course, we hit a dream turn, an 8 of clubs. I guess we can't hit the 8 of spades because we've got it, but 8 of clubs, absolutely beautiful. So now we're just going to simply value bet. Now we're hoping he has an ace. Ace is ideal, of course. At this point, our range is very wide. Let's see. I don't know. call c-bet. Okay, well, this isn't the usual HUD I use, but full to c-bet is fairly high. I imagine he's a little bit stationy. People who are tight, like kind of passive, they tend to be more stationy, in my opinion. That's how they get values. Like when someone tries to bluff them, they get value from their hands. But anyway, I guess at this point I'm just praying he has pocket fives or pocket threes. But I think ace X is in his range a lot, or something like king high flush draw, or ace high flush draw even. But if he calls this flop, I think he just has an ace a lot. So we are in heaven right now. We got a nice meaty, slightly over half pot bet with basically the nuts. And then we see an interesting river. So the idea is he either has so what are his calling hands? How does he get to the river? He either has an ace, he has fives full, threes full, or a flush draw. All of these hands, I mean, maybe flush draws won't bet, but all of the rest of these hands are going to be betting. And we have a we have a pretty darn wide range, probably, in his opinion. I don't know what his perception of us is, but we could have anything at this point, just barreling twice. It doesn't. We probably have a bluffy image, though I'm not positive. But anyway, all of his hands except miss flush draws are going to be betting. Fives full, threes full, ace X. So I think it's perfect to check here and induce a bet. This way we can represent a bluff if we want to check raise. But also, we're just going to let him value bet his ace, because what donkey doesn't want to value bet trips? And that's probably what he has. He probably has ace queen, ace jack, maybe ace king. So he bets pot. And also our check on the river is very weak. It makes, maybe we have like kings or something here. I don't know what he thinks we have that he's going to bet pot and get called by worse. But, he's a donkey. So anyway, he bet pot, which, we're just absolutely in heaven because we have essentially the nuts here. This is another spot that I've been talking about. Yes, sometimes we're beat by ace 5. Sometimes we're beat by ace 3 or ace 8, but not really. That's just not really going to happen. It's just always going to be ace X. So we have a very easy decision here. We absolutely just shove. We just have a boat. He bet pot, so he's very confident in his hand. We kind of look bluffy, so we just put them all in, and we get not snapped off. We snap off ace jack here, I'm pretty sure. So it's a bit of a cooler, but he could have definitely gotten away on the river, but we just got very good value from this hand, and I thought it was pretty darn well played. I don't want to say perfect. I don't think that highly of myself, but I thought it was pretty well played. So that is going to, that is going to wrap up this part of the video. Now I'm going to record some gameplay, and then I'm going to cut it all together and yeah, put this video out for you guys. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, enjoy the video. I'll see you guys later. All right, we are going to fire up a few games of 15L. I just noticed this. Shout out to Old School RuneScape. If you play, leave a comment. I'm working on an Iron Man right now. But there's the bankroll. As I said, true to my word. I usually check these games, see if there's any like massive games going on. Doesn't look like there is now. Sometimes there's going to be like 9-handed games where the average pot is like 25. It's like you got to get in those games. But for the time being, I'm just going to jump into a few of these guys. I'm just going to play 2 tables. And let's see. I'm trying to think how to set this up for the video, because I know that people get overwhelmed when there's too many tables and it's not zoomed in very well. But I'll just play 2 tables. I'm just going to take it nice and slow. I'm just going to play for about 15 minutes. Hopefully we can make some good decisions and show you guys some good gameplay. I do want to play some music, but I won't. Here I think 6-5 suited is an easy call. You've got 2 people that are already in the pot. It's only 2 big blinds. We miss. Easy fold for 5-10. There's a lot of excuse me. There's a fair, pretty decent amount of good turns, but it's not like we're gonna flat this and out of position against the low jack. I just don't think there's really any reason to. We don't know anything about him. There's no reason to. Here we get 3-bet by someone who's not very 3-bet heavy, so we just fold. We're not gonna mix it up too much with Queen Jack offsuit anyway, but I think it's perfectly fine to raise it. Deuce 5 suited, easy fold. Jack 5 offsuit, easy fold. Sometimes we 3-bet 9s, sometimes we flat 9s. We could open ace 10. We will. It's not necessarily good or bad. This guy's a reg. Depending, like, he has days where he 3-bets a lot. He has days where he doesn't. These guys are both pretty nitty. I'm just gonna flat take it in position. One thing I like to do is when I've just started, I don't want to start making these big pots when you're not really like warmed up, so to speak. Or just take it easy, make sure you're thinking correctly before you start making these big decisions. This is much better for his calling range than our pre-flop range, and all of our big hands we're going to be I think oftentimes we're going to be checking here anyway. Here we're good a decent amount, but we're also crushed if we're not good, so we just let that one go. Here we're going to be checking jacks full twice. We're going to be checking quads twice. I think a lot of his range is going to be 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. He could have us, absolutely crushed. He could have Queen Jack that he's just checking. I don't think we're ever winning this pot, but he could also have 8s that just made a straight. So I just don't think there's ever any point in really trying to get him off of hands. Like, he could have King Queen. Like, there's no reason to play that. 7-5 off, 8-8 off. These are just bad hands. 5-3 will probably defend to a lot of any 2.5x raises. Ace-6 easy fold. Ace-5 against someone who's fairly nitty. We're gonna open. We'll defend this. We're not gonna defend out of position from the small blind there. This is much better for his range. He has all the pocket kings, pocket 10s, pocket 8s, queen jack. He's got this whole board. Sometimes we have pocket 8s and like 10-8, but I think he could even have jack 10, ace queen. We have no flush draw. It's just not good for our range. So we're just folding. Just not continuing with this. We get 3-bet by someone that doesn't 3-bet very often. So at this point we're actually just that's kind of expensive. But the thing is that okay, we're just gonna set mine because especially on a king high board we're just gonna be letting this one go to a c-bet most likely, especially half pot. Generally, when people don't 3-bet very often, I like to just set mine. They're usually more attached to their hands. So this guy is very, very aggressive. This might be worth getting in. Or yeah, he's so aggressive. We're going to be 4-betting and considering getting it in. I mean, we might just be going down a buy-in, boys. Nice. So I think tens are fine for a 4-bet on the button there. We're going to do a size that we're going to be doing with aces. Let's see. This guy looks loose passive based on the very little information I have on him. Okay, I want to think this one out, so I'm going to... Okay, so I think we can just... they call it range betting. I don't know why they call it range betting, but this is what people do. I think we can just range bet here. I think he's folding all of his 5, 6, 6, 7, probably folding. Actually, no, but then all of his king, queen, king, jack can call. Maybe I don't like range betting there. Maybe I like checking or betting bigger. I think I like checking. I don't really know what to do exactly with 9-10. We could turn this hand into a semi-bluff, start betting big on the turn, try to represent the flush, or, you know, king-queen or something. But we don't know anything about this guy. You know, this isn't a bad board by any means for our range. We still have plenty of, like, really strong hands in our range. I'm trying to think what he does this exact... He probably does with his, like, ace-5. I don't think there's any point in bluffing here. I'm just trying to think out, you know, the right thought process for this exact hand. I think the small bet on the flop is fine, and then just continue. I think a check is fine as well. So I don't really mind how we played it. We had a shot at a gut shot, so we got a free river, and we have the chance to bluff that. You know, if we're playing really well and we're thinking very clearly, I don't mind trying to turn that into a bluff. But, you know, at that point, I don't know enough about the guy. Maybe he's spewy and he would have called anything. So I just don't know anything about him, so I just let it go. I'm just going to check the stream here. All right, looks good. Got some kangs, as Doug Polk would say. No action. This guy, so we've definitely played with him before. We could open queen 10 offsuit here. It seems like he's pretty spewy. I don't think it's good to open weak hands against spewy players out of position. Couple of pocket pairs here. Okay, we're gonna 3-bet 10s here. And we can flat or we can 3-bet. Okay, I think we're just going to 3-bet. He doesn't like over 4-bet. In fact, he actually under 4-bets, I would say. So I think it's pretty likely he just calls here. And since he doesn't call, I think we've got an easy fold. LeDuan really likes to 3-bet squeeze, so anyway, I'm just gonna do a small c-bet here. I don't really expect it to get through that often, to be honest. I thought he has something like ace-queen a lot, even pocket jacks, but I think maybe he has something like, let's see, well, I don't have his stats. I think he has something like, you know, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, trying to flop a set or something. We don't mind. So I'm going to let you in on an exploit of mine you could take advantage of. I don't even want to say it. Should I just not say it? Smart people will figure it out. I'll just say that. Let's see. So here we're just going to do a small bet. I don't expect him to fold very often. We'll do this with sets with like ace-10 over pairs. I didn't expect a raise, but we know nothing about this guy, so what do we know? Um, I just didn't want to check call with ace king suited, because it's just like so weak. I'd rather keep the bet lead. But oh shit, I want to sit out. Okay, so I wanted to keep the bet lead, but I think we just get bluffed out of this pot too often if we just check. So I wanted to keep the bet lead, like I just said, because there's so many good turns for us. Aces, kings, even queens or jacks are okay. They're not great because they hit his range a lot harder. But yeah, I started running out of time, so I just did a small c bet. Maybe it's more appropriate to do a larger c bet, like 51% or something. I actually try to represent things something like jacks, but I like betting more than checking for sure. But I wasn't, I wasn't sure how to play this hand. Especially, we know nothing about this guy. He's probably aggressive based on his name, but we just don't know anything about him. So that's just how I played the hand. I think in that spot specifically, where we've got the backdoor flush draw as well, I think betting half pot might be a little bit better, keep our range stronger. Because the quarter pot bet is polarizing, but it's also weak. We do it with like a set, but we also do it with weak hands like ace king. So this person has a very high fold to 3-bet, so we're just, maybe this is spewy, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's very profitable. Who knows? If we get 4-bet, we're just folding. A7 suited does not play well in a 4-bet pot. Queen jack. Someone who folds a 3-bet a lot. I think they're gonna be hitting this board a lot. Let's see. We'll do this with overpairs and everything. We'll just give information. This might be a bad bet. I think we do get called by bettors so much often here, or so often. I don't think we need to turn this into a bluff. I think we're just gonna say we played this hand kind of bad. I think I don't think the 3-bet is bad, but I think the c-bet on flop is bad. This is why, if I'm talking, I really don't want to be playing more than like 2 tables, because I start making mistakes like this. I could have saved that flop bet, did not have to bet. Of course, if we turn 2-pair or trips or spade draw, that changes things, but I just don't think that flop bet was good. And now we're going to be down because of that pot, $17, but that's okay. It's not too much. We could 3-bet. Yeah, I think we're just gonna 3-bet. We get 4-bet. We're just gonna fold. Yeah, 3-betting light on the button is like a little sus because you're gonna get 4-bet more often, but that's okay. It keeps our range wide for when we do actually have hands for 3-betting. It keeps our 3-bet range wide, and that's good. So we just lost a pot by being bluffy to this guy, but we do have a 10. I mean, we have Jack 10 here. We have Queen 9, King 9. We have so many good hands here. And he just has, like, not that many. Beautiful flop for kings over here. Just praying this guy has Queen Jack offsuit. Only hands we're worried about are pocket 7s, pocket deuces, and Queen 7. So pretty much 0 hands. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I didn't want to make this video super long, so I'm going to wrap it up after these hands. We'll play out the queens and the ace 10 real quick. This guy is very sticky. We have no intention of trying to bluff him out. Yeah, he's very sticky. We can bet on the bigger. I don't mind betting on the bigger side and hitting him with some big barrels. Looking like we have kings or something. This guy flats 3-bets a lot, so this one's interesting. We can size up on this board. Man, I'm giving you guys so many good secrets. I should stop making these videos, to be honest. Please subscribe and like, because I'm giving you guys really good information. So we can size up on this board because he has 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, all of these hands in his range that are kind of forced to call that c-bet. So this guy's pretty sticky. We are worried about ace-x of diamonds and pocket jacks occasionally, but we're just going to go for big value on the turn here. Hopefully we get called by like 10s. I don't usually go that big. I will wrap it up by talking to you guys face to face. I don't usually go that big, but we don't have the queen of diamonds. We don't want to see a diamond on the river, so we're just going to try to get big value, and we can check back the river on diamonds. But basically, when people flat 3-bets, their range is usually like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, like stuff like that, 7s, 6s, even, ace, queen, stuff like that. So you can size up with your value hands, but man, you guys should have to pay for like these lessons, but I'm not charging you. Just like and subscribe, all right? Leave a comment too. So anyway, that's gonna end this part of the video. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Have a great weekend, or have a great week. Happy holidays. See you guys later.